My husband spent our daughter's life-saving surgery money on his mistress. She kept every dollar. I never thought I'd be the kind of woman who checks her husband's phone. For 12 years of marriage, I trusted David completely. He was my rock, my partner, the father of our beautiful daughter Emma. But life has a cruel way of teaching you that sometimes, the people you trust the most are the ones hiding the darkest secrets. It started 3 years ago when Emma was diagnosed with a rare heart condition. She was only 7 years old, and the doctors told us she needed a specialized surgery that our insurance wouldn't fully cover. The cost? $250,000. It might as well have been $1 million. We were middle-class people living paycheck to paycheck, and suddenly we were staring at a medical bill that could bankrupt us. David took it harder than I did at first. He barely slept for days after the diagnosis. I'd find him in Emma's room at 3 a.m., just watching her sleep, tears streaming down his face. "I won't let anything happen to her," he'd whisper to me. "Whatever it takes, Sarah, whatever it takes." We started the fundraiser within a week. David was incredible about it. He set up a GoFundMe page, reached out to local news stations, organized bake sales and charity runs. His company even did a matching program for employee donations. I watched him throw himself into saving our daughter with everything he had, and I fell in love with him all over again. The money started coming in slowly at first, then faster. $5,000 here, $10,000 there. David's cousin donated $20,000. His parents mortgaged their house to give us $50,000. My sister sold her car. People we barely knew were sending us money with heartbreaking notes about their own children. For Emma, they'd write, "She's going to make it." David handled all the finances. I was working double shifts at the hospital where I'm a nurse, spending every other moment with Emma, managing her medications and appointments. When David said he'd take care of tracking the donations and coordinating with the hospital's billing department, I was grateful. One less thing to worry about. 6 months in, we had raised about $180,000. We were getting close. Emma's surgery was scheduled for 3 months out. I remember David coming home that night with Chinese takeout and actually smiling for the first time in weeks. "We're going to make it, Sarah," he said, kissing my forehead. "Our girl is going to be okay." I should have been happy, but something felt off. That night, after David fell asleep, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out what was bothering me. It wasn't until a week later that it clicked. David had been gone a lot. More than usual. He said it was work, that they were pushing him hard on a new project. But he'd also been taking a lot of personal days that he said were for fundraising meetings or following up with major donors. He'd come home late, exhausted, sometimes smelling like perfume that wasn't mine. I pushed the thoughts away. I was being paranoid, I told myself. The stress was making me crazy. David would never, not while our daughter was fighting for her life. But then Emma's surgery got postponed. The hospital called 2 weeks before the scheduled date. There was an issue with the payment, they said. The funds hadn't been fully transferred. Could we contact our financial coordinator? I called David immediately. He was at work. He sounded stressed when he answered. "What? No, that's impossible. I'll handle it, Sarah. Don't worry about it." "David, what do you mean you'll handle it? What's going on?" "Just a banking error. I'll sort it out. Focus on Emma, okay? I've got this." He did sort it out, apparently. The hospital called back 2 days later saying everything was fine. The surgery was rescheduled for 6 weeks later. I tried to feel relieved, but that nagging feeling wouldn't go away. Then it happened again. 3 days before the new surgery date, another call from the hospital. Another issue with the funds. Another postponement. This time, David seemed angry. "These fucking banks," he muttered, pacing our kitchen. "They're holding up the transfer over some bullshit paperwork." "Can I help?" I asked. "Maybe if we both call." "No," he snapped, then immediately softened. "Sorry, baby, I'm just stressed. I'll handle it. You have enough on your plate." Emma was getting worse. The delays were taking their toll on her little body. She was tired all the time, had trouble breathing. She couldn't play with her friends anymore. She'd ask me when she could get the surgery and be normal again, and I had no answer. The third postponement broke me. I was at work when I got the call. I had to excuse myself from a patient's room and cry in the supply closet. When I came out, my supervisor, Linda, was waiting for me. "Sarah, honey, what's wrong?" I told her everything, the postponements, the mysterious fund issues, Emma getting sicker. Linda listened with growing concern on her face. "Sarah, where is the fundraiser money being held?" she asked. I don't actually know. David set up everything. You need to find out. Today. This doesn't sound right. Linda's words planted a seed of real fear in my stomach. That night, after David went to bed, I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through his phone. I found nothing suspicious at first. Work emails, messages with his brother about football, texts from his mom checking on Emma. But then I saw a contact saved under Rick, contractor. Weird, because we hadn't had any work done on the house. I opened the messages. "Miss you, baby. When can I see you again? Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. Dinner tomorrow? I'll wear that dress you like." My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. Rick wasn't a contractor. Rick was a woman, but these messages, they were from months ago, before Emma's diagnosis. An affair was devastating enough, but at least it wasn't connected to. Then I saw it. A message from 3 weeks ago. David, I love the bracelet, but you really didn't have to spend that much. Are you sure you can afford it? Don't worry about money, baby. I've got everything under control. It must have been $5,000 at least. You're too good to me. I felt like I was going to throw up. I kept scrolling. More messages. About dinners at expensive restaurants. About a weekend trip to wine country. About him paying her rent when she had a tough month. I opened his mobile banking app. His fingerprint was saved on the phone. All I had to do was hold his hand to the sensor while he slept. The bank account that was supposed to hold Emma's fundraiser money had $63,000 in it. We'd raised over $200,000. Where was the rest? I found the answer in his transaction history. Transfers to Rachel Morrison, not Rick. Dozens of them. 5,000 here. 8,000 there. 3,000. 10,000. They went back months, starting just a few weeks after we'd launched the fundraiser. I added them up sitting there in our dark bedroom, my husband sleeping peacefully next to me, my dying daughter down the hall. $147,000. He'd sent his mistress $147,000 of our daughter's medical money. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. I just sat there in Emma's room, watching her chest rise and fall with each labored breath, trying to understand how the man I loved could do this. When David woke up in the morning, I was waiting for him in the kitchen with printouts of all the transactions. I transferred them to my email, printed them at the 24-hour FedEx, and laid them out on the kitchen table like evidence at a crime scene. He went white when he saw them. Sarah, I can explain. Explain? My voice didn't sound like mine. It was cold, dead. Explain how you've been funding your mistress's lifestyle while our daughter is dying? It's not, I wasn't thinking. $147,000, David. That's how much you spent on her. How many surgeries would that have paid for? How much more time would Emma have? He started crying. Actually crying. I'm sorry. God, Sarah, I'm so sorry. It just happened. I met Rachel at a work conference right before Emma got sick, and I didn't know how to end it, and she needed help, and She needed help? I laughed, and it sounded insane. She needed help? Our daughter needs a new heart valve, David. She needs to not die. I'm going to fix this, he said desperately. I'll get the money back. I'll tell Rachel it was a mistake. You'll tell her it was a mistake? Does she even know? Does she know where that money came from? The look on his face told me everything. No, he whispered. She doesn't know about you or Emma. She thinks I'm divorced. The rage that went through me in that moment was unlike anything I'd ever felt. I wanted to hurt him. I wanted to make him feel even a fraction of the pain I was feeling. Instead, I said very calmly, "Get out of my house. Now. Sarah, please. Get out." Emma woke up crying from the noise. David looked toward her room with anguish on his face, but I blocked his path. "Don't you dare," I said. "Don't you dare go near her." He left. Actually packed a bag and left. I didn't know where he went, and I didn't care. What followed was the worst 3 months of my life, and that's saying something considering the previous year. I called a lawyer. I called the police. I called every single person who donated to Emma's fundraiser and told them the truth. The shame of it nearly killed me. These people had trusted us with their hard-earned money, had believed they were saving a child's life, and my husband had used it to wine and dine his mistress. The legal process was a nightmare. Technically, since David's name was on the fundraiser account, it was hard to prove outright fraud. His lawyer argued that as the account holder, he had the right to withdraw the funds, and that his personal relationship was irrelevant. My lawyer argued that it was donor fraud and theft by deception. It would take months to sort out, maybe years. Emma didn't have years. The local news picked up the story. Man allegedly steals daughter's medical fund for mistress, the headlines read. Our faces were everywhere. Emma's sweet school picture next to David's, with Father of the Year in sarcastic quotes. People I'd never met were commenting on articles, calling David every name imaginable. Some were sympathetic to me. Others blamed me for not noticing sooner. Rachel Morrison, the mistress, was tracked down by a particularly aggressive reporter. She gave one interview, crying, saying she had no idea that David had told her he was divorced and independently wealthy, that she'd never have accepted the gifts if she'd known. She said she was keeping the money because it was given as gifts and she hadn't done anything wrong. My sister started a new fundraiser, explaining the situation. The response was overwhelming. People were so angry on Emma's behalf that donations poured in faster than before. We raised another 100,000 in just 3 weeks. Local businesses got involved. A pop star with a big following shared Emma's story. Within 2 months, we had enough. Emma got her surgery. She came through it like the warrior she is. The doctor said it was a complete success. Through all of this, David tried to contact me constantly. Emails, texts, showing up at the hospital. He'd lost his job, his company fired him over the negative publicity. He'd been evicted from wherever he'd been staying. He looked terrible, hollow-eyed and unshaven. Please, Sarah, he begged outside the hospital one day. Let me see her. She's my daughter. I love her. You love her? I repeated. You almost killed her, David. For what? For a woman you'd known for 6 months? It wasn't about Rachel. I was having a breakdown. The stress of Emma being sick, the pressure of the fundraiser, work, I snapped. I made the worst decision of my life, and I can't take it back, but please. Please don't take Emma away from me. I wanted to feel something for him. Pity, maybe. Or even a shadow of the love I'd once felt. But there was nothing. Just a cold, empty space where my husband used to be. You took Emma away from yourself, I said. You did this. The divorce was finalized 4 months after Emma's surgery. David was ordered to pay child support, though I don't know how he'll manage it without a job. He gets supervised visitation with Emma once a month. She doesn't really understand what happened. We told her that mommy and daddy were having problems and needed to live separately. She misses him sometimes, asks why he doesn't live with us anymore. I don't know what I'll tell her when she's older. How do you explain to your child that her father valued his affair more than her life? That he spent her medical fund on another woman's rent and designer handbags and romantic getaways? Emma is doing well now, physically. Her heart is strong. She's back to being a normal, energetic 10-year-old. She has friends, she plays soccer, she's alive. But I see the damage in other ways. She's anxious about money, she heard enough of the fights to understand that money and her surgery were connected. She hoards her allowance, panics if I spend money on anything that seems too expensive. She asks questions like, are we poor now, mommy, and do I cost too much? It breaks my heart every single time. I'm in therapy now. So is Emma. We're working through it. Some days are better than others. I've learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought I was. I've also learned that you can never truly know another person, not completely. The man I thought I married, the man I thought I knew inside and out, was capable of something I never could have imagined. People ask me if I hate him. Honestly, I don't. Hate requires emotion, passion. What I feel toward David now is nothing. He's like a stranger who once played a role in my life. The love I had for him died the moment I saw those bank transactions. Rachel Morrison kept the money, by the way. My lawyer said we could sue her, but it would cost more in legal fees than we'd likely recover. She deleted all her social media and apparently moved to another state. I hope she thinks about Emma every time she looks at whatever she bought with that blood money. I hope it haunts her. The thing is, Emma lived. Despite everything, she survived. We survived. We're building a new life, just the two of us. It's not the life I planned. It's not the life I wanted. But it's ours, and we're making it work. I've started dating again, nothing serious, just coffee here and there with a nice guy from the hospital. Emma seems okay with it. The other day she said, I like Mark, mommy. He's not like daddy. I didn't know whether to be relieved or heartbroken that she'd already learned the lesson that men can disappoint you. David sends letters sometimes. Long, rambling apologies. Explanations. Promises to do better, be better. I don't read them anymore. What's the point? No amount of words can undo what he did. Sometimes, late at night when Emma's asleep, I think about the life we could have had if David had just been honest. If he'd told me about the affair before Emma got sick. If he'd ended it like an adult instead of funding it with our daughter's life savings. We could have survived infidelity, couples do it every day. But this betrayal was too deep, too unforgivable. I look at Emma sleeping now, healthy and strong, and I think about how close we came to losing her. Not because of her illness, but because her father cared more about impressing his mistress than saving his daughter's life. That reality will never not be surreal to me. People tell me I'm brave. That I'm strong. That I'm an inspiration. I don't feel like any of those things. I feel like a woman who did what she had to do to save her child, which is what any mother would do. There's nothing special about that. What is special is Emma. She's kind despite what she's been through. She's generous with the little money she has. The other day, she donated her allowance to a fundraiser for a kid in her class whose family lost their home in a fire. I know what it's like to need help, she told me. I want to help them like people helped me. That's when I knew we were going to be okay. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. Emma came out of this with empathy and compassion, not bitterness and cynicism. She's a better person than her father ever was, and she's only 10 years old. As for David, I don't know where he is now or what he's doing. Last I heard from my lawyer, he'd moved across the country, trying to start over. Good luck to him. He'll need it. You can't run from the kind of guilt he's carrying. It'll follow him wherever he goes. I'm not interested in revenge or in seeing him suffer. I'm interested in moving forward, in giving Emma the best life possible, in being the parent she deserves. David made his choices. Now he has to live with them. And me? I'm learning to trust again. To breathe again. To believe that not everyone will betray you in your darkest hour. It's hard. Some days it feels impossible. But I'm trying, for Emma's sake and for mine. We're survivors, Emma and me. We went through hell and came out the other side. That's our story. Not the story of what David did to us, but the story of what we did despite him. How we fought and survived and built something new from the ashes of our old life, and somehow, that's enough.